Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. It's Monday evening, and this is That's Fancy. So thank you all for stopping by, joining me tonight. If you are here, give me a hello so that I know who's on here with me, who's watching and seeing what's up in the craft studio. Sorry, I just had a cord in front of my face there. And the light is a little bit in the picture tonight. And, anyway, still kind of getting used to this new setup. And I apologize for being a little bit late getting started here tonight. Technology yet again. But the good news, really wonderful news, my new laptop is supposed to arrive on Friday. And if you can believe the notifications, it's supposed to come in the morning. So that means that hopefully I can get it set up relatively quickly. You know me, I'm not a geek, but anyway, do what I can do to get it set up and started and figure out how to use it. And maybe by Friday evening when I do Connie's Craft Along, maybe I'll be using the new one. Maybe I won't have to spend over 30 minutes trying to get everything up and running and going, and I'm really looking forward to it. Anyway, just give people a moment or two to join us because I was a little bit late getting started. So hopefully everyone's getting a notification to say Connie Douglas Great Stamping with Connie is live now, and they'll be able to join me. So it's always more fun to craft with some friends. So today is Monday, February 28th, and that means it's the last day of February. Because unlike all those things on Facebook, what's one of them? We're doing a 3-day challenge. Let's go dry, February 29, 30, and 31. So wait, we don't have those obviously. So today is the last day of February, which means it's also the last day of celebration. So if you haven't stocked up on your cardstock, your envelopes, your adhesive, all of those consumable sorts of things, now is a great time to do that. And you can get some free celebration items while you're at it. So how awesome is it? How awesome is free? We love free, don't we? So you may want to think about doing that yet tonight. I know I have to, I have an order that I've started to enter, but I didn't finish it. So I have to go and finish that after we're done here and do that tonight tonight, yes, is also a great time to buy a prepaid paper pumpkin subscription because it will earn you celebration rewards. And the March paper pumpkin, called Over the Horizon, I believe, looks like it's going to be awesome. It is based around the New Horizons suite and the watercolor paper that is out with that beautiful paper that is watercolor and scenery and sort of what do they call it when it's not truly defined? There's a little bit of, you have to kind of look to see. Anyway, whatever they call it in the art world, it's based around that paper. So I think it is going to be a beautiful kit with some really, really wonderful cards in it. And March is also Paper Pumpkin's birthday. So they always give us they give us a birthday gift, Paper Pumpkin's birthday, and we get the gift. Can't beat that. And this year it is a second stamp set. So in your kit, there will be the stamp set to complete the projects, and there will also be an additional stamp set. So 2 stamp sets in your kit this month. So even if you've never tried Paper Pumpkin, if you think you don't want to subscribe to it month after month after month, seriously consider getting the March kit because it's going to be a good one. So, alrighty, let's get fancy. I am going to flip this down. There we go. That should do it. Look, there we are. Okay, so for tonight, if you saw my Facebook post, you saw that I have a technique. We did a technique last week and it was a lot of fun. So I was trying to think what we would do this week, and I was thinking, oh, maybe we'll do another technique. So for this week, I have picked the baby wipe technique. Okay, guess what? It's done with baby wipes. Look at that. Who knew, right? So my baby wipes have been around for a little while. They're not super wet, but anyway, you can do this with 1 or 2 because mine are not super wet. I'm going to put 2 down in here. It also depends how many cards you want to make. If you just want to do a few, you don't need 2 baby wipes. 1 will be enough, but you're just creating what we're actually doing. We're going to make this into our ink pad. So okay, so if you haven't done this technique before, it can get a little messy on the fingers, but that's half the fun of crafting, right? So for tonight, I chose 3 colors of cardstock. You can use 2, you can use 3. I suppose you could use more, but if you get too many, your colors can get kind of muddled. So here's what I have chosen for tonight. So we have Coastal Cabana, Rich Razzleberry, and Flirty Flamingo. And I thought they looked pretty together, kind of different. You can use 2 colors in the same family. These are almost similar families, but this is a pink and this is a purple. So, but you could use a lighter pink and a darker pink, or a light blue and a darker blue. I could have used Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay, and I'd have the lighter and darker. But anyway, I chose these 3 colors. So that's our color palette for this evening. And you need re-inkers. Okay, so here are those 3 colors in my re-inkers. And you just, like I said, we're going to make our own ink pad. So I'm just going to put drops of re-inker on my ink pad. Okay. And I probably don't need to be quite this big, but I'm going to make it about that big. So I don't know, I might need a little bit more of that because I don't think I want too much of the Rich Razzleberry. It could be quite dark, so I may go a little lighter with that, but we'll see. So I'm just adding the second color close to the first color. Ultimately, you want the colors to kind of touch, but you don't really want them to blend because then they can get really muddy. So I probably made this a little larger than I should, but anyway, it is what it is, so we're going with it. Okay, I think I'm going to come back with a little bit more of the Coastal Cabana, fill in some of these areas a little bit. You can see that the ink does bleed, does spread a little bit, but you want your ink pretty much touching, because if you have too much white around, then you will have parts of your stamp that don't get inked. So obviously we don't want that. Okay, so we're going to give that a try. Probably not a bad idea. No, you don't really need to put paper down. Maybe I'll just throw an extra layer of paper down. It's not like it's going to get wet or anything really, but anyway, okay. Alrighty, so now we have our ink pad, and I am going to bring in a piece of cardstock, and I have some stamps. So I am using, first one I'm going to do, I'm going to use the Wildflower Path. So I have this stem, and then I have some of these flowers that I've mounted, and I've also mounted the grass, which I may use after as well. But I am going to start with this stem, and I'm not going to use this ink pad for my stem because I want it in green for my stems, and there was no green in my stamp pad. So I am going to come in here. Let me just grab my foam, put that under there. Okay, not sure if anybody is with me or not. I don't see any comments. So if you have joined me, give me a hello. Let me know that you're here. But we are doing the baby wipe technique tonight. I'm going to start this fairly close to the edge, and I'm also going to start it fairly high because I'm going to have flowers on the top of that. And then I am just going to go across my paper, adding stems, and I'm dropping the height down as I go so that this side of the card is going to be my low point. They're going a bit of an angle there, aren't they? One more. There we go. It's a little bit symmetrical. I maybe should have done some at different heights, but for this card, it now is what it is because it's done. So now I'm going to bring in all my different little flower stamps, and as you will see, you can kind of stamp these things anywhere. It's a very forgiving stamp set. So what you're going to do, got my stamp. I'm just going to use this as my ink pad. Okay, and then I'm going to come onto here, and I'm going to stamp it. Okay, and I'm just going to add some flowers all over the place here. I'm not picking up the blue very well. I don't know why. I'll try down in this part. Okay. I'm actually going to put a little more, I want a little more blue in here. I'm going to just try and add a little more ink to my ink pad there, and see if I can pick up a little more blue on my stamp, just for some variety. Okay, I'm just going to set that in there for a minute. I'm going to add, what do I have here? I have all different little flowers here, so I'll do some different ones here. So as you can see, they all come out a little bit different, right? Because we're picking up different amounts of color and different colors all over the same stamp. And so it makes kind of an interesting, mosaic that is different every time you stamp. Okay. I have used this technique where I have actually kind of built my stamp set based on what I wanted. So I know I had done one years ago. Actually, I should see if it's still, well, not in my windowsill because of the renos. But I had done one. I had done sort of oranges and yellows and dark red kind of at the top, and then sort of some green and then some brown near the bottom. And I just built that on my ink pad. And then I had a tree stamp that I used for the card. And so it looked like fall leaves. And then the brown was sort of the green was, I forget now. Maybe I just went right to brown for the tree trunk and then green for grass below it or something. But I had sort of built that with the intention of it, making that tree look. So you can do that, or in this case, I just put the colors all over the place, and we sort of got what we got, kind of thing. So there we go. We have flowers all over. Looks a little bit messy from a distance, but up close, it's lots of pretty flowers. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that one for now, and I am going to grab just some scrap paper here, and I have my daisy stamps from this, not from the daisy, it's a daisy set, but gosh, where'd it go? Daisy Lane, that's it. This one. Okay, so there's the two sizes of daisy in there. So that's what I have out for this. So I'll get these out of here. I'm actually done with these. Maybe I'll just take a moment and clean these off because I do not need them now. And then they are cleaned up. And I don't have to worry about leaning in them or anything at all. Oops. A lot of dirt on that block. I should give him a proper wash, I think. Okay, oh, I should do the stems while we're at it. There we go. Everybody's clean and happy. Okay, so now for my daisies. So I want to stamp this, and you don't want to move it around too much, or you will muddle the ink. Not sure though. If your ink pad gets that the ink has soaked through too much, you can just add more re-inker. But I am just going to stamp this and see what I get. I'm not sure. It may have, if you look, it does soak through down in, and as you push on it, you push it down into the baby wipes even more. So, oh my goodness, look at that. Can you see that? It's lighter and darker, but look at the colors. Oh my, oh, that's very pretty. Okay, that was sort of what I was after. It's what I wanted, something pretty. So I'm going to do one of the large ones, and then I'm going to do two of the small ones. Hopefully the small one comes out well. But that's a little bit more of the purples and less of the blues. So let's see if we can kind of get some of the blue onto this one. You never know what you're going to get, but whoopsie. Might have stamped him a little bit close to the other guy. Let's see. Yeah, probably a little bit close. I think I'm going to do, you know what? I'm just going to add a little more blue down in here. And perhaps another little, now the Flirty Flamingo is still showing up quite well, but whoop, we'll just give him a little dab there too. And then I think I'm going to stamp him again just so I don't have to punch him out, because he got a little close to his neighbor. So I don't think I'm going to be able to punch both of those, because I do want to punch them out. So this one will go over a little bit further with him, and hopefully there will be enough space. There we go. Okay. So you can just keep adding ink to that, and you can keep going. You can stamp as many images as you like, for as long as you like. I guess at some point it would get rather muddled and saturated and things, but you can do, certainly you can do more than we have done, but you know, this is only a 1 hour live, so we're not going to go on endlessly. But the other thing that I like to do at the end is I pick this up and I just kind of smush it together. Oops, sorry, I'm not in the camera smushing it, am I? Just kind of smushing it, and then move this to the side. I am going to use this as my stamp. And so I'm just going to come down all over my cardstock like that. So you get this really cool texture and you get all your colors happening again. So it's just something a little bit different, but it's still the baby white. And I probably don't need to worry about the fact that there's not a lot in the middle here, but just wanted to get a little bit more there. So you can do as much or as little of this as you want. I should probably stop, right? Quit while I'm ahead. Quit before it looks too muddled and messy. I'm just going to drop that back into my container. And I'm not too inky, but that is the part where you get inky. So just so you know, be prepared. Hey, Lorna, hello. Thank you for joining me. We're doing the baby wipe technique. So, and I should tell you, I tried to get in, well, I did get in touch with Stampin' Up! Regarding your water painters, just asking if they had any tips or anything that they thought you could do to help your tip come together. Because I know I've had mine for years and years and years, and they are fine. So I'm not sure why yours don't come together anymore. But anyway, she sort of went, oh, so if you can tell me the original order number and the purchase date, and I forget, there might have been some other information, then we can look at sending a replacement. I'm thinking, yeah, I don't think it was a really recent purchase. I'm looking for tips and hints and tricks and things that we might be able to do to fix it. So anyway, I am going to go back to them and say, not quite what I was after. I would like some advice. I'm looking for some help. Anyway, and see what they have to say. So, okay, so there are, there's the 3 pieces that we have. I am going to punch these out. I have both of my daisy punches. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they don't quite understand what we're trying to find out, do they? Okay, so I just need to trim the corner off of this because it won't go into my punch far enough. Whoop. And then hopefully I can get that around my flower. Okay. Sorry, I'm tilting this towards me a little bit, I suspect. Yeah, I just wanted to be able to see where the petals were and get it into the right place. So it's over here. And get these guys punched out. Again, I'm hogging the focus so I can see where I'm punching. Over here. There we go. Oh, I might have been able to get that one. Not sure, but anyway, we did an extra one for safety. I think it dried out. Started to dip it into a glass of water, and it worked just fine. Oh, I was just able to use it by squeezing the brush. Oh, and that's exactly how you're supposed to use it, Lorna. You put water in the barrel, and then you just kind of squeeze it. So, okay. So hopefully it's okay. All righty. Let me know if you're using it again and you do have problems with it. I'll see what tips they can suggest. But yes, when the bristles dry out, they do tend to bleed everywhere. But if you wet it and they come together, it should be wet when you're using it. It isn't, they aren't designed to be a dry paintbrush. Hadn't used them in a long time, eh? Yes, well, there's only so many crafting hours in a day, isn't there? Unfortunately, we can't use all our toys every day. And then sometimes we have to do other, adulting sorts of things, don't we? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you're okay for now then. If that's not the case, you can let me know. I think I'm going to put this daisy together like that. So I've got the two small ones, and I'm just alternating the petals on those. Little dab of glue here, and I will put this guy on top of him. Whoop. There we go. No problem, Lorna. That's what I'm here for. Here to help. If there's anything I can do to help you or anyone else watching this, just let me know. I do my best. Not always successful, but you know, we all do our best. That's what we can do. Okay. So there's my daisy ready to go. Well, I was supposed to do a couple of these, wasn't I? I should have stamped some more. I was going to do 2 sets of those. I might not have enough to finish my card. Where did my ink pad go? I still have my ink pad. I might have to make more. But in the meantime, maybe I'll make a couple more. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. I was thinking I needed to do that to layer it, but then I sort of forgot that that only makes 1, doesn't it? Where'd my daisies go? So let's see if hopefully I still have enough ink in here. I don't think I used it too much for that background piece, but we'll see what we get. Oh, no, a little bit dull there. Okay, so that was here. So let's see if I have any more ink on this side. Otherwise, I will have to add some more ink to it. Let's see if these don't, especially if your baby wipe, when your baby wipes are newer. Now see, I kind of moved it around, and then I got very muddied color there. So the blue is tending to soak through very quickly. Add a little more blue in here. And what I was going to say though, if your baby wipes are, shall we say, fresher, I think your ink pad stays juicy longer. My baby wipes are a little bit old because I haven't done this technique for a while. So I wonder if I can get 2 more of these. I'm not stamping these very well, am I? I'm trying to hurry here. I shouldn't do that. That one's better. So we have 2 good ones of those. You know what? I think I'm going to flip this guy over and try it down here, only because I don't want it to be just purple. I want some of the other color. Is it here, right? Yes. So hopefully we get some different colors here. Oh yeah. So we sort of did, but then we kind of lost some edges of our petals. One more try, then I'm out. Because that's several strikes, I think. I got more than 3 strikes. It's neat, isn't it, Lorna? I love how, you know, you just have this big puddle of dots on a baby wipe. And then, oh, see, there, finally. Isn't that kind of cool, though, how you get the different colors? The Flirty Flamingo is a little bit lost on that one, but we do have the blue, and then there is some lighter red here, and then the darker of the rich raspberry. So we'll go with that. That will work. So move my ink pad out of the way, set those to the side, and then I just need to punch these guys out as well. Oh, I did this, I remember the very first time I did this in a class, and everybody, you know, was sort of like, they're like, you're doing what? Or what? And then they started stamping with it, and it was like, oh my good. It's one of those things because everyone's is different, and everyone that you do is different. And every time you stamp, even with the same stamp, I mean, if you look at my daisies, you know, they're all kind of similar, but they're different. You know, they have different amounts of each color. Look, those are not. That's not the same flower. So. They look different every single time, which is just kind of fun. We want these guys alternating. There we go. And some glue on here. Alternate this guy. There, now we have two. That will be better. I think that will make our card a little, give a little more something, a little more je ne sais quoi or something to our card. Okay, so now let's do something with these. So I have some rich raspberry that I was going to use as little, fairly narrow, but as the borders for these two. Let's not glue the top to the bottom to the top. Get that on there, looks good. Okay. So once you've done the baby whites stamping part, then it's just, you know, it's just using your images and your background, just as you would designer series paper or any other stamping pieces. They just have a different look, a very unique look that you can't get. I should actually show you. Well, maybe I'll wait till the end. Remind me, I have something to show you at the end, a comparison. Hopefully I'll remember. But okay, so there's those. And then we need some sentiments, don't we? Oh, rats. I had thought about adding some rats into it. You know what? I'm going to try and do it. And I'll just have to be a little bit careful. I'm going to put this paper down here so that I don't, it's a light color, it's Parapizzazz, so it probably wouldn't show up a whole lot, but I'm going to just put that down since I forgot to add my grass. Just to fill in the, oh, look there, that'll work too. There we go. The glue wasn't quite right out to the edge, so I could get the paper right underneath there. And I was thinking that just kind of, it just fills it in a little bit. Try and get a little bit of grass over here. There we go. That'll work. Okay. So then, some sentiments. How about, I was doing some thinking of you cards. So what do we have? And where did my punch go? Whoops, at the back. Sorry, one moment. There it is. So we've got rich raspberry. I have Coastal Cabana for my card bases. So this is going to go on here. So what do we think for maybe Coastal Cabana stamped with Flirty Flamingo or rich raspberry? Darker or lighter? I don't know. Maybe Flirty Flamingo. Let's just go with it, eh? This is a different. Oh, what have I done to my ink? Okay. It's a different stamp than I was using last night. Ooh, that's kind of tight. I don't know that one's really gonna fit. How about this one? Will this one fit? This one will fit. Okay. We're changing how we're thinking of who, who and you. Okay, let me grab my foam piece again. Bring this in here. And I want to, this should be cut, shouldn't it? Rats. I'm just going to hand cut like this because I'm going to punch it, but then at least this top piece can be used for something else. Otherwise, I would punch it. Okay. So there's my thinking of you. Probably should have done a couple while I was at it, but I didn't. We'll have to, we'll sentiment as we go. How's that? Okay, so there's that. And then I am going to do a Coastal Cabana. This is the double oval punch. It's very handy because you have the two layers right in one punch. Just, you noticed how I cut a strip of the white paper. You can use the whole larger piece, but then I would have punched the top scallop one in the white as well, and I didn't really want to do that. So this way, just economize a little on my cardstock use. Okay. And then we will just put this on here. And then we're ready to put the whole card together. There we go. Give this guy a fold. I was using Coastal Cabana cardstock on the weekend, and I had put out a challenge to use colors of cardstock that you hadn't used yet in 2022, and I was thinking, I don't think I've used Coastal Cabana. So I figured I would use that on the weekend, and it's a color that I really like. I tend to go to the, the sky blue, the, balmy blue and misty moonlight and those true blues, but turquoises can be lovely as well. So then when I was looking for colors for this, it's like, oh, I'm going to use Coastal Cabana. So there we go. I'm getting my Coastal Cabana fix. Yeah, the punches, they are nice when you get the two sizes, aren't they? I mean, I know with that tailored tag punch, I use that one a lot and just cut to make a border on it. But when you have the two sizes right in the one punch, it's kind of handy. It's like, boom, boom, done. You got your sentiment, you got your layer, and it's all right there. So we'll just put this on here. And then I pulled out, and here we go, the opal rounds. Again, I was using these on the weekend. It's like, oh, we're just going to stay on a bit of an opal round journey here tonight. So I'm just going to plunk a few of these right up near the top here. Just for a little bit of sparkle and shine. And there we go. Look at that. How spring is that? These are almost forget-me-nots, which, forget-me-nots are a little darker, more of a periwinkle blue. And as much as they're early, they're certainly not out yet. Snowdrops are not even out yet, but we're working our way there, aren't we? Okay, so for this one, what I did was I did a die cut from the artistic dies, which go with the Expressions in Ink suite. And I thought I would just put that right onto here. Hopefully it's not, I think it will show up okay. I think it can work. We're going to do it, so it will work. And I put the adhesive sheets on the back of this so that this would be a sticker. So I just need to get these pieces off. And then I should be able to adhere it quite easily. This sheet is in sections, so as you can see, so there's the one section, and I will need to get into here, into the next, and then there was just a tiny third piece that I will have to get as well. So just take me a moment to get this all up and off. Oh, looks like the third piece didn't even make it into the die cut. So it's all off. And then the only thing, you just have to be careful that you get it kind of in the right place before you set it down, because this is sticky stuff, but it's quick and easy. There, look at that. See, it's a sticker. We love stickers. Okay, and then you know what? I think I'm going to do this all in Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment once again, and then I'm going to give it a Flirty Flamingo border as well. So just to stick with Flirty Flamingo is my thought. We'll see when we get there if it doesn't look right. We love stickers. Yes, we love stickers. Okay, and I think I'll just do one more while I'm here. Hadn't really thought about what sentiment I would put on the daisies because I haven't really laid them out yet. So I'm not positive what size will fit best, but we'll just stamp an extra one in case we decide that's what we want to go with. So I like to do Thinking of You because those are the cards that I donate to my churches. And I also, my church in Barrie is doing a virtual auction. The youth group is doing a virtual auction to raise money for the Barrie Women's Shelter and I think one of the other homeless things, not Out of the Cold. That was the walk on the weekend, but something related to that. So they asked if I would donate some cards for their auction. So I need to get them made because I said, yes, of course I will. So, and I don't know what they want. People are going to be bidding on those. So those won't have to all be Thinking of You cards. They can be different sentiments. But anyway, so perhaps in my next few Facebook Lives, I'll be making cards for the virtual auction that our church youth group is going to be doing. I'll keep you posted, but that would be an easy way to get them made, wouldn't it? So there's the blue. Now, does all Flirty Flamingo work? Where do we want this? Maybe right about there, or should it be blue? It maybe needs to be blue. Let me punch a blue one and we'll take a look. Yes, you can use Thinking of You for anything, can't you? That's why they're perfect. because they can work for anything. You know, I'm thinking of you, and then inside you just write, and I wanted to wish you a really happy birthday. And all of a sudden, thinking of you is a birthday card. So what do we think? Should be blue? I kind of think it should be the Coastal Cabana to match the card base, because I don't have any Flirty Flamingo cardstock on here. I think we're going to go with that. So let's put this guy together. How am I doing? I have 12 minutes to finish this card and the daisies. I think I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Okay. Yes, blue. Okay. All right. Get this down. Oop. A little extra adhesive all over me. Yeah. Okay. And some dimensionals. Don't know whether there's room on this sentiment for gems, because this is pretty busy paper. I'm not sure. Not sure there's going to be gems on here. Where'd my gems go? There's not going to be gems anywhere if I can't find them. So I might need to go. What do you think? Oh, that's really hard to see on camera, isn't it? But I could add them here. Maybe we'll just plunk a couple right onto the sentiment. You see, there's always a spot for gems, and I know you'll agree with me, Lorna. That's why I love you. And just a tad, maybe a little squished, but you gotta have gems, right? I think that's okay. That will work. We're going with that. Okay, that's card number 2. And one more. So for this one, I've got the Coastal Cabana card base again. And then I did a piece of Flirty Flamingo, and I have embossed it with one of the new small embossing folders that goes in the mini cut and emboss machine. This one is splatters, and they come in a 2-pack. So in the 2-pack, you get splatters and stripes. See the stripes there? So it's actually called stripes and splatters. So that's the stripes. And well, this one doesn't show on this colored cardstock too well, does it? There we go. There's the splatters. I love the splatters. They're just fun. They're, you know, it's no pattern or anything. It's just, it's texture on the cardstock, and that's what I like about it. So I was thinking this, oh, there's going to be a lot of color, but I think that's okay, right? You have lots of color for flowers. So it's sort of my thought, something kind of along the ways of this. And then now this one might work on Flirty Flamingo because we have Flirty Flamingo. And if I go out over that edge, I probably don't want it on the Coastal Cabana. So maybe something like that. That might work, eh? We'll give it a go. Okay, so I'm going to start with this piece. Perfect. Oh, Lorna, I love you. I don't know which particular thing you thought was perfect. I'm just going to say it's all perfect. Yep. Yeah, it's, and you know what? That's the beauty of handmade cards, isn't it? That, you know, they can be just about anything. And, you know, sometimes a card will catch your eye because the colors or something is just, it's breathtaking, or you're, you know, you see and you know it was just a whole lot of work and it's very fancy and everything. But it's really like, It's practically impossible to look at a handmade card and not see some beauty. You know, it might not be take your breath away beautiful, but they are all so lovely. And it's such a wonderful treasure when you give someone a handmade card or someone sends you a handmade card. It's always very special. So I need to I need to get better about sending cards. I've kind of fallen off track a little bit, but last year I decided I was going to send cards for Lent. So I'm just going to send one card for every day of Lent. So 40 cards in 40 days. And I was thinking, you know what? I should do that again, because that gets me sending cards and it gets people receiving cards. And it's just, you know, a lot of people talk about what you're giving up for Lent. I was giving out for Lent. So I think I might do that again this year. Okay, so now we just need some dimensionals. I'm going to put dimensions. We could put Wink of Stella on here too, couldn't we? Oh my. Somebody said the other day, Wink of Stella needs to be in your basic toolkit. It is a staple. It's a basic toolkit item. Oh, no. Every person does not get 40 cards. I sent one card to 40 different people. Oh, Lorna, please, that's really ambitious. That would be a whole lot of work. Yeah. And I would have to plan that ahead for quite a while, which clearly I didn't do. So no, one card to 40 different people. Yes. Plus I'd go broke on the postage. There, oh, look at that. Some shimmer and glimmer. Every time I use Wink of Stella, it's like, oh yes, I like this. And sometimes I think, oh, this definitely, it needs Wink of Stella. Sometimes I kind of forget about it. I keep it in my toolbox on my desk. And I did that so it would be handy. But when I'm looking for embellishments, I go into my embellishment drawer and it's not there. Maybe I should put one in there and keep one on my desk as well. And then I will see it in multiple places. Because, you know, kind of like the liquid glue, I usually have a few of these on the go too. Why have just one when you can have multiples? Then you have them in many places. There we go. Oh, can you see that? Can you see the shimmer? That's tough to show on camera, but oh, there you can see. But you can see that it shimmers, but it looks much nicer than that. It's like it glistens. It's lovely. I didn't get that on quite in the middle, but oh well. It is what it is. There we go. Okay, so now we need some dimensionals on these things. And then, you know, there is still, of course, there's still room in the middle for a gem, right? Postage is a killer, but you know what? I remember somebody said to me a couple of years ago when postage was, I don't know, 93 cents or something. Said, I'm not sending Christmas cards. Oh my gosh, it cost me 93 cents every time I mail a card. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's only 93 cents. And how much joy does it bring to people? And maybe it wasn't Christmas. Maybe it was just about sending cards in general. Like, you know, it's a lot more expensive than it used to be. And if you're sending parcels or anything, that is a killer. That one I get. That's very expensive in Canada. But, you know, to just send a regular card for how much joy it brings, it's so inexpensive. It just makes your day. It makes your whole day that much better. So And I don't know, I thought I had heard that postage was going up in January, but I don't know whether it did or not. I buy my stamps by the hundreds. I get the big roll at Costco. So I just buy it. I just buy it because I just use it. Kind of wanted one over. Oh, maybe it could go right over top of that a little bit. Right up onto our sentiment, maybe. I don't know. That's where it's going to go. There we go. We need some flower centers, don't we? And these are perfect with the Wink of Stella. They're just all shimmery, kind of like the Wink of Stella. And there we go. Look at that. So there are our 3 cards that we made tonight with our baby wipe ink pad. And I did do some last night. So they're virtually the same thing, just different colors. So last night I used Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, and Cherry Cobbler. Thanks, Lorna. And I did the dragonflies rather than the daisies, but it didn't show up enough on the dragonflies, which is why I switched the stamp set for tonight. But there is different color in the wings, but it's just a little bit too liney and not enough solid, I thought. So, but it's still nice. And then here is this is the flower one that I made. So virtually the same, just different colors. And then this was the background one. Again, virtually the same, just different colors. So should I put the matching cards together? Then this guy's going to be really long, but anyway. There we go. Okay, so let me add me back in here. So, oh look, I have a whole minute to spare. Add a spotlight. There we go. So I am back, and that's the baby wipe technique. So it's a great way to play with color. You can use any color you want, any colors you want. You just need some re-inkers. So whatever re-inkers you have, you should have a re-inker for every ink pad that you have. It's always kind of my rule. You're going to buy an ink pad, buy the re-inker, and you just need a few drops of it into a baby wipe. And you make your own ink pad. You can do your own unique stamping and have some fun creating all sorts of different weird and wonderful things. So that's what I have for That's Fancy tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have an awesome week, and we will see you all again next time. Night, everyone.